Let's get rid of these old guys. This is an antique Steinway upright with badly deteriorated bridle straps. The wood's in great shape and the hammers are fine, but over time it dried out and fizzled out and the fabric is just done. You can tear it with your hand, and if you try to adjust it, it makes noise and it tears and there's nothing you can do. It's time to change those parts. They're not expensive, but a bit of a pain in the ass. There's no cork. If you notice, in these hammer butts, there's no corks, so these got to be custom cut. And I've seen a lot of people get it wrong. And honestly, the difference between getting it wrong and getting it just right is just a simple jig setup. Here you see exactly what I'm talking about. That's the space. You got to have that little slack, build it in. Plan it out, see how long your strap is going to be, see where you need to cut it, measure it a few times before you cut it once. Just take a little center pin, hammer it into the wood, and there's your jig for length. Make a pencil line where you want it, and cut it right off. What I like to do after that is tape everything. Tape it all down to blue masking tape so everything is straight and it's easy to glue down. I use good old contact cement original formula and dab everything up, not once, but twice. You let it sit 10 minutes, put another layer on it, on both sides. You want a layer of glue on the hammers, on the hammer little shank that connects the butt, and you also want the glue on the bridle straps. The glue adheres to itself. It's very important to note. We've tried all kinds of glues, but this seems to be the most practical, the most replaceable. If you have to take it off, this is something that you won't break the wood trying to undo if you need to do so. I apply it liberally. Seem to not be able to overdo it unless, don't glob the parts up, but you got to make sure the surface is definitely primed up with some glue. No, I don't work this fast. This is sped up a little bit, just so it's not boring. But there you go, see? Apply the glue nice and liberal all over the place. You don't want the whole bridle strap glued up, you just want the part you're going to use. And I try to glue a nice inch, a whole inch to be glued up down there. So it's attached for a long, long time, so you don't have to worry about it coming off. There you go. It's all glued up. Both sides are glued up. This is one coat. We're going to do a second coat. Then we'll let it dry, and we'll just put them right on. For this, I use an applicator. This glue is a lot more toxic than the wood glue, so I use an applicator. But once it's dry, it's safe to your hands. See? As soon as you make contact, it's done. So make sure that point is on where you want it to be. You don't get too many chances to reposition with this type of glue. So most importantly, cut it the right size so they're all identical, so it looks factory, like it came from a jig. Number 2, you want the glue lined up everywhere. And 3, you want it perfectly lined up when you stick it up. Let me give you a few angles looking at it. I think the action jig helps, so you can rotate the action into position where you want it to be. That really, really does help. If I couldn't do that, I would have to disassemble the action. There it is, see? Nice and snug. Here's an upside down view. However they're going in, see? You line it up, tap it in. That's it, line it up, tap it in. Then I always go back and press them in again from both sides. Like that, see? That's about it. Then I let it sit overnight.